Another group you're going to see really hopeless during the 1920s and really see their lives also kind of spiral from one crisis to another are going to be farmers. And I feel so bad in the way that we have to treat poor farmers in this class, but they suffered terribly in the 1930s because not only are they suffering from the Depression, right? We know that all of America is suffering from the Great Depression. On top of that, farmers across America are going to be suffering from 10 years of drought, a decade with little to no rain. And what happens when you have prolonged experiences with drought, and when you farm the way people farmed in the 1920s and 30s, you're going to end up with unbelievable dust storms that will ravage whole huge areas of America. To help you understand the severity and the incredible damaging nature of these dust storms, I pulled up a couple images here, and you can really see the enormity of these storms. And I got to tell you, if I saw one of these things rolling towards me over flat, open expanses of land, I would be freaking out. I mean, look at this wall of dirt and dust and flying wind just kind of crashing over this town right here. How tiny everything looks in comparison to it. It looks like these places are just going to be wiped off the map, like this. It's almost like a volcanic explosion and dust just rolling across. And these storms could last for hours. In some cases, they could last for days. So these farmers will experience these catastrophic dust storms and this terrible drought, which is going to go on and on and on for decades. And you're looking at, with those dust storms, 50 storms a year. On average, people are going to experience. So you're going to have a whole huge swath of America called the Dust Bowl, located in the Great Plains. And I called up a map here to help you see what I'm looking at when I talk about the Dust Bowl. And in this map over here, and really any of these will do, but you can see the Dust Bowl here, the region impacted by all of these dust storms and this incredible, tremendous drought. The darker the color, the worse the dust storms are, so you can see how particularly bad it was right here in the Great Plains. But the whole region in general was impacted by these incredible, tremendous dust storms for a decade. So that whole region itself becomes known as the Dust Bowl. And when you have farmers already under pressure, right, from the debt that they've had to take out because in the 1920s farm wages were so low, when you have farmers already under pressure from that debt, when you have prices falling because of the Great Depression and people unable to buy your crops, then when you add into this the Dust Bowl, the drought, these farmers are going to be completely impoverished, and they're going to lose their livelihood, they're going to lose their land, because everything that they know is going to be swallowed up by this environmental disaster. There's a great little quote right here. You're going to see dust-covered buildings and crops and livestock. Everything just becomes filthy to the extent that people can suffocate if you're caught outside in one of these storms. So their livelihoods are destroyed, the storms are there, and everything gets caked in dust. Dust to eat, dust to breathe, dust to drink in your beds and your flower bins. Everything about their lives becomes brown and dirty and essentially difficult. So many of these farmers are in such tough times that you're going to see them have to turn their farms over to banks that hold the mortgages on their lands, and a whole slew of them are going to become migrants as a result, because they can't stay in the Dust Bowl and farm. It's going to be impossible. So many of them penniless, right? They're bankrupt. They've lost their farm. Their mortgage is gone. They're going to leave that Dust Bowl. They're going to head west, and they're going to be searching for a better life. Many of them will go to California, but they're not going to find a better life. And we'll talk about that more in class.